peoples, and welcome back. Well, welcome back properly to 2021. Although I suppose this is my second video of the year, but it's the New Year themed one, and so we're going to pretend it's the first video of the year, despite there already being one from last week. But, oh well, what are you going to do? Today I am doing a redraw of the first piece of digital art I drew after I got Clip Studio Paint last Christmas. It isn't the first digital art I ever did, because I did have a free trial for a while and I used to use my phone to do digital art, but it's the first proper digital art, and the first one I've done since I got back into art in about 2018. And so we're gonna redraw that, and we're gonna see how much difference that I've managed to make and how much improvement I've gone through over the last year. And with that in mind, I figured we would discuss my art goals for 2021. So at number 1, we have line art. This is something that I'm already starting to work on, and I think my line art's actually improved quite a lot over the past couple of weeks and months, particularly in the sense that it's much smoother and much tidier than it used to be. But I still have something I want to do with it. Most recently I've been experimenting with different line widths and such, and maybe more textured lines is something I'd like to try, because I just want to put more character into it. I know that aiming to find an art style isn't particularly the most productive thing, because it's developing as I'm drawing all the time, but I do know that how your line art looks makes a massive impact on what your pieces look like, and I think the more I experiment, the more I'll find a line art style I'm really happy with, and it seemed like a good way to keep things interesting this year. At number 2, we have backgrounds. And as you guys probably know, if you have looked at any of my previous videos, any of my previous art, backgrounds are not really something I tend to do. I tend to just go for like a colour gradient or something, because I suck at them, to be perfectly honest. A huge part of this comes from the fact that I don't really practice drawing backgrounds or drawing anything that isn't people very often, and so I'm not great at knowing how to do good digital art trees or good digital art windows and such, but I've started work on my comic, and obviously in a comic you need backgrounds to set the scene as to where the characters are, and because of this I've realised that I kind of need to just get a grip and start learning backgrounds. And so I'm starting trying that. If you'll notice this particular piece that I'm drawing right now, one of the upgrades I made to the original version is I have added a background. It's perhaps a little bit simplistic, and I'm not sure it quite fits the setting that I wanted to imply of like a grand throne room, but curtain, window, outside, I think it's more than I would usually do, and I'm kind of proud of it. At number 3, I want to talk about shading in non-skin areas. So it's something else that I'm really where I need to work on. My art has developed a lot this last year, and I think one of the things I experimented most with was trying to do more 3D shading, particularly on faces. I'm very common for only drawing like bust up, and I think my shading in the face has gotten more complicated and then gone back and simplified again. But the good thing about that is I think I understand much better where all the shades are meant to be, and I'm starting to settle into a classic me way of doing the shading on the face. But with clothes, I am only just even starting to understand where some of the shades are meant to go. I'm not very good at folds in clothes, and to be honest, if anyone's got any resources you could suggest to me or link me to, that would be really helpful, because it's something that I know I really need to work on, but shading on the body, particularly clothes, is just not something that I'm very good at right now, and I want to try and improve that by next year. At number 4, we have anatomy, which I think anatomy is something that pretty much every artist wants to improve on at some point, and it's something that every artist works on every year, I suspect. However, because I've never really had any art teaching past GCSE level, which was about 3 years ago now, my anatomy is particularly lacking. I have once again found that I don't really put enough effort into learning it and practicing it, but I really think I should, because I'm really only good at, as I said, bust up drawings. And the other day I was trying to do a height chart and I realised that I don't know how to draw legs. I can draw hands better than I can draw legs, and that tells you a lot. So more anatomy practice, hopefully, That said, I'm still really proud of how far my anatomy has gone above the waist over the last year. I think this drawing that you're looking at now is much more in proportion than the previous one, although to be fair I did use a 3D model to help me get the pose right. But you know what I mean. I think I am improving. If you look at some of my pieces that I didn't use models for, the anatomy has certainly improved from where it was. And so we'll be proud of that. At number 5, I have time management. This one isn't specifically art related, but it does tie in. Starting uni during the pandemic has made me face the brutal reality that I have no real time management and not a lot of motivation to work if I don't have to. I've also found that when I'm not motivated to do uni work, I'm also not motivated to do art, and so clearly it's linked somehow, and I need to really work on improving this for next year, otherwise I am not going to get anything done, ever. And it's not something that I have a solution to yet, but it's something that I'm going to work to find one for this year, and so hopefully that goes well. And then there's number 6. Which once again, not strictly art-based, but that is self-expression. I recently spent some time thinking about all the things I would love to do one day, and some of these things, you know, include stuff that I really can't do right now, like travelling the world, but other things have been things like cutting my hair and drawing whatever the heck I want. And, you know, I found recently that I've felt a lot of pressure to specifically draw things from particular ships and things that people will recognise in fan art, and even if I was drawing own characters, specifically drawing only a select group so that people don't get confused, and I just decided, you know what, scratch that, I'm going to draw whatever the heck I like, because it's not about the likes, and if you guys like my art, you'll stick it out. And, you know, lots more gay characters, because you gotta love that. And so I'm going to probably still keep drawing loads of fan art. In fact, I think the piece I've drawn for next week is fan art, because I do like fan art and there are lots of characters that other people have created that I really want to draw, and, you know, things I want to show, particularly like non-canon ships. I always love drawing art for those, but I will probably still draw other things too. And you know what, if I want to draw random pretty girls that have no relation to any of the stories I've written, then damn it, I'm going to draw random pretty girls. Deal with it. So that is pretty much all I have for this video. I'm strongly considering doing this again next year and redrawing this same piece. Comment what you think of this video and the stuff I've said and the art down below, and leave a like, and I will see you people next week. Bye.